Hey guys, this is Wayne. Welcome to my new channel. I'm trying to show you a tool I've been working on for a long time. A little bit about me. I'm a long-term software developer. Always wanted to be into games. Never really gotten a real opportunity. I've always worked on other things. Um, so thought I'd give it a whirl, but found probably what a lot of people have found. There are a lot of great tools out there, but there are also a lot of inefficiencies. It can take a lot of steps in order to be able to take some concept that you have, create it in Blender, say, animate, import into a program like Unity, and actually make something actually interesting. So I found when I first started out, I was doing a lot of searching around trying to find videos that will tell me how to do certain things, but then finding myself having to do them over and over and over again. So I thought, well, maybe there's something that can be done about this, especially for the tasks that are kind of mundane or repetitive. So what I did was I started creating a tool, and it's actually two tools. One for the Blender environment. There's a plugin that helps with some of the mundane modeling tasks, but mostly to do with actual exporting of the FBX files and preparing things to be usable in Unity. And then the second half is a Unity plugin, which can be used on the Unity side, obviously, in order to accept the imported FBX files, create these prefabs, bundle them all in together, handle things like animations, and just sort of get the whole process streamlined so you don't have to actually do much in order to bring your things to life. Here I've got a video that's kind of showing some basic modeling of a character. Excuse my mundane, rudimentary attempts. But the real magic happens when we actually start to import. And you can see here I've got a Unity project that has no prefabs. I've got my project in Blender, one button press, and here we go. We have a character that's textured and pulled right in. And so you can see it already has colliders set up for it, and an animator script. And so this animator script allows us to automatically set up all the animations that it may find that are visible in Blender and pull them in. And you can actually play these animations just through some simple code calls rather than having to set up a complex animator in Unity. And so you can see that this character currently doesn't have any animations, but we will add some. This is another model I've created here. It has a bunch of different components to it. You can see they're all separate items in here, all under one grouping called shop. And if you look in our little tab here called Unity Settings, you can see that each one can have a certain settings applied to them. What kind of collider you'd like to have, whether it's convex, whether physics should be working on it as well. And when you export it, you can see it's automatically pulled in, imported, and we can immediately use it in the scene. And this model contains all these subcomponents that you saw in Blender as well. And anything that you've defined in Blender, like the type of collider being used, This will also be used in Unity, automatically set up for you and all part of the prefab. So here we're showing all the different components. And you can see this one has a box collider. The building itself had a mesh collider. The ground also has a box collider, all automatically sized. And you can see the sign itself has a different material, which was all set up in Blender. So you'll see that my model here has changed a little bit since the last time you saw it. I had to change the bones around a little bit just so that the head wouldn't deform improperly when you move the antenna. So here I'm just doing some basic animations, an idle animation and a walk animation. And once we get all that set up, we can bake those animations. And once baked, as long as they're showing as visible, they're eligible to be pulled into Unity automatically. So here we're now creating the walk animation. And now you see in Unity one little export, and they both show up as animations in the prefab. And now got a few just basic examples of some controllers here. One is a camera controller, and one is a controller for the character. So this camera controller will just allow us to follow the guy around. You see, we just easily toss that in there and assign our guy as the target, so the camera will follow him. And now we're just changing a few parameters of the camera so we can decide what angle of rotation and how far we want to be from the player. This is all basic stuff outside of the plugins. So now we've got our basic controller scripts attached to our player and to our camera. And we can see that we've got our idle animation just playing automatically here. So here, yes, now we're going to apply our player controller. We can debug the animations pretty easily by entering the animation name. We can update the speed. We just sort of play around with it until it feels right, and then once we like it, we can take those values and use them as initialization values for the animations when we set them up in code. And here we have our camera controller. Not much to see here, just a very basic controller. This allows us to follow our character around. And here we have the player controller. Most of it's just basic controller code. The only really interesting parts here are the initialization code and the code that actually sets up the animations. So here we have a couple of different kinds of setups. So one for default animations, one say if the character is carrying an axe, and they can be a different set. But when we actually assign an animation, we can set it in the same way. There's sort of a mapping of animation name to the set of animations that we have. And this allows us to very easily make changes without having a complex state machine. So if you've made it this far into the video, congratulations on your truly remarkable attention span. This tool isn't quite ready yet for prime time, but when it is, I'll be making it available, likely through the Unity store. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.